And welcome back to the second part of our Super Bowl preview show. Dara and Fionn here, and we're delighted to be joined by Jake Woolhead. He's finally come down off his high horse after chatting with his new best friend, Eric Weddle, during the week. How are you,
Yeah,
Jake?
I'm now top of the list now. I might be the most famous person on this podcast.
That's not really that hard of
not
a
a
goal
high
to
bar to
attain,
clear,
to be
Jake.
honest. It's not a high bar, man.
Fair enough. Yeah, okay.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Although before we get to our next guest, I must say a big thank you to all of our sponsors that we've had this season, including Horan Estates, Garrett's Butchers, and of course, McGowan's Pub in Phibsborough for their continued support throughout the year. No doubt we will be hooking up with them in the off season and for next season too. And of course, like I said, we are really thankful for the support they've given us throughout the whole year, whether it's prizes, sponsorship, whether it's been anything at all. We are really, really appreciative of that. But let's welcome our next guest, shall we? What do you think?
Do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
You probably know him from the Rich Eisen Show. We are delighted to welcome on Chris Brockman onto the show. Chris, how are you?
Fellas, what's happening? Jake, quick question. Gotta ask right out of the gate. Were you as mesmerized by Eric Weddle's beard as we are here in the States?
I had to almost pivot away from the question I wanted to ask him onto how he got his beard so well groomed. It's perfect, isn't it?
Gosh, yeah, it's
all we have is Dara's beard, and that's just not the same thing at all.
That's what Jake got used to it.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, I can't be throwing shade about beards now, but I have to say I've seen tidier efforts.
Yeah, I used to be beard gang kind of back in the day, and then you get yourself a lady, you have a kid. They're like, clean it up. So I keep like 5 o'clock shadow nonstop because I just can't. I can't go clean. I can't do it.
Just can't let go, man. I totally understand that.
Can't let go. Well, good, Jake. I'm glad you survived. It is a lot. It is a lot of work. A lot of upkeep. You got to get the oils. You got to shampoo. You got to condition. You constantly get the trimmer out to make sure
trim it a lot. Yeah,
you're edged up. Like, I don't have that kind of time now. I have a 2-year-old. Like, I got bigger things to worry about.
Well, that's it. You have to make that decision where you shave it off or you just go full grizzly man and just let it go. You have to make that decision when it comes to it.
Hey, Dara, much respect, man. You keep rocking
it. Well, come back to me now in a couple of years when I have maybe a 2-year-old of my own, and then we'll see if I still have it, We'll see.
You'll have less hair, that's for sure. Hair on top.
Well, it'll definitely be grayer if I still have some anyway, for sure. Well, listen, thanks so much for taking the time to speak to us today. We really appreciate it. I'm sure it's been hectic this week trying to get everything ready for the game on Sunday.
Yeah, it's crazy because normally, in the past we've been doing the show. This is year 8, and we didn't travel last year, but we traveled to all the other Super Bowls. And you're out of town, you're away from the family, you're away from the girlfriend. Like, you're really just worried about like waking up on time, getting to the set on time, and then once the show kind of takes care of itself, you're worried about, okay, where are we going to eat for lunch? Like, where are we going for dinner? And what Super Bowl party are we going to tonight? Don't drink too much so I don't look hungover, on camera the next day, a little extra makeup. But like, this being a home game here, being in Los Angeles, we're based in Los Angeles. It's like, oh, I still got to do dad duties. I still have to come home and just kind of live my normal life. Oh yeah, by the way, the whole football world is coming to our town because it's the biggest game of the season. It's kind of weird. It's taking some adjustment. Of course, things are getting kind of back to normal. I don't know how it is where you guys are, but things are getting kind of back to normal here. So you got to worry about a little more people around, a little more traffic out on the roads. But certainly Los Angeles is very excited to have this big game on Sunday. And then, not to mention the home team. The home team Rams are involved. So that's added another element to the excitement as well.
Yeah. What would your Super Bowl routine normally be? Now, would you be watch it at home, maybe with a few beers, maybe have a couple of friends over, or would you like to be going out for it?
The funny thing is, all the ones that we've been to, I only actually went to the game one time, and that was because we were in Minnesota, and we were kind of staying to do a show that Monday before heading out on our set there in Minneapolis. So I did go to that game. It happened to be a really exciting game. Patriots, Eagles. Eagles get their first championship. But normally I would kind of we'd do the big party thing Saturday night, and then I'd be on the first thing smoking Sunday morning to make sure I got home in time so I could just kind of relax at home, unwind from the crazy week that we just had in whatever city we were at, and then kind of just, have a few pops, make some wings, just kind of really relax and enjoy the game and yell at the TV because my bets aren't hitting, you know what I mean? The props. But yeah, no, normally it'd be super chill. I try to get out of the city before things got crazy so I could watch at home.
Have you got any Super Bowl traditions, Chris?
Traditions or predictions?
Traditions.
Traditions? No, not really. Not really. If the Pats are playing, which, often, I would kind of wear the same shirt. If something was going kind of good or bad, I'd sit in the same seat. Nothing really crazy about that. But we would always do squares if I was at a party. And then I would just we would do some kind of random prop bets throughout the game, but nothing crazy like traditions or whatnot,
I always like to do anytime touchdown on the defensive side. I always think that's a good bet to do.
Oh, that was a good one. What about the one a few years ago? Was it the first score of the game was a safety? That hit, I think, in the Giants Patriots round 2. And then Broncos Seahawks, the first game was a safety. Yeah, those are always fun because they pay out like 50-1.
Yes, crazy bet.
No one expects a safety in the Super Bowl. It's kind of wild.
That's it. And we'll have to get into some more bets probably later on in the chat. But what's it like normally now on the show planning for 3 hours a day? So like, you have so many things to cover. How do you decide which topic is getting the most amount of time?
It just kind of depends. We're a lot of feeling the pulse, seeing what people are talking about on Twitter or what, just kind of what we're feeling on studio. I mean, look, it's Super Bowl week. We got the Bengals and the Rams, a team that hasn't been there in 30 plus years. We got the home team for the second year in a row. And we led our show on Tuesday talking about Tom Brady because look, Tom Brady goes in his podcast less than a week after announcing his big retirement. And what does he say? Never say never. Maybe I might come back. Like, oh my God, like what an absolute bomb to drop Super Bowl week where this guy is home for a week and he's like, you know what? Maybe retirement wasn't everything that I thought it was going to be. Like, I know I'm married to a supermodel, but man, she can be kind of annoying. Like my perfect kids, man, they're kind of getting on my nerves. I need to go work out and throw the football around and like have an avocado smoothie and maybe see if I can, maybe come back next year. Like that was crazy. So we led the show with that today because it's the biggest story. So we kind of go with whatever the biggest story is. We talk about it pre-show and kind of come up with a plan for the rest of the day. Obviously, a lot of it depends on who our guests are that day. If we have anyone kind of coming in studio, we were able to have some great guests come in studio on Tuesday. Barry Sanders, Hall of Famer, Lions legend, was first up. So that, once you get somebody in there, you get somebody talking, we get the ball rolling. You'd be surprised how fast 3 hours go. You kind of look down, you look up at your computer, all of a sudden, we got 15 minutes left. And it's like, whoa, we could have done 1, 2, 3 more hours today.
Chris, you guys, as you mentioned, you guys have guests on all the time and they kind of run the gambit, don't they? All the way from celebrities to players. And that can be fine. But sometimes you come across really rough guests. Have you guys got like a code word or a system where this guy just doesn't want to talk? He's just rolling out 1-word answer, 2-word answers. Have you guys got a system, a code word, or anything? You're like, hey, let's wrap this up. Let's get the next man in and get this show moving again.
We don't really have like a code word, but Rich and I, we've been doing this together, a long time, 10 plus years now, where we just kind of look at each other and we can kind of tell like, whew, this is like pulling teeth, man. Like this is kind of rough. A couple of years ago at the Atlanta Super Bowl, Kyler Murray kind of got famous for having just a real rough go around the talk shows. Dan Patrick, he did it with us where, he was trying to be coy about, well, I might go play baseball or, I haven't decided if I'm going to go pro yet. And we were all like, seriously, bro, you're going to be the number 1 pick. Like, what are you doing? And it was just, in that instance, like, sometimes a guy's just getting bad advice from his team. Sometimes like he just doesn't know he doesn't have enough practice, doing kind of the media thing to be a little bit savvy to kind of, hey, look, this is a give and take thing, man. Like, this is how your career is going to go. You got to kind of give them something. They give you something. They let you talk about your sponsor, whatever you're promoting, and you got to kind of play the game. So we don't have nothing, it's not like college football where they're like flashing up like cards on the sideline, like go to break, cut, but like, we definitely know. And Rich is like, the best of the best. And he's such a pro at, look, okay, maybe I got to change up my interview strategy here, where I kind of got to go in a different direction, somehow break the ice with this guy, like loosen him up in some way. And just to pull something, whether it's, 5, 6, 7 minutes. But other times, look, like the guys who get it, we had Michael Irvin on today. He's a guy who 100% gets it. He's been doing it a long time. And you could talk to Irv for 20, 30 minutes and you don't even realize it because, he's really giving you the good stuff.
That's always the problem, right? The athletes are famous for being athletes, not necessarily for being media personalities.
Yeah, of course.
A fine line.
Yeah, so when you come across someone who totally gets it, another guy we had so many guests on Tuesday, but Cameron Jordan from the Saints, like this is a guy like when his career is over, if he wants to do media, he's going to be able to do media because he's so gregarious, he's so good at storytelling, he's just a guy with a lot of personality who has a lot of fun. And when you get those guys as guests, it makes your job as a host and a sidekick on what I do super, super easy.
Fionn, Chris isn't going to give away his code word on air today. Obviously, that would ruin the illusion.
Yeah, I don't want guys to see your show and see this episode and be like, "Okay, he's doing the thing, guys."
He's doing the thing.
I'm really sucking as an interview guest. I really need to step it up.
It's okay. Our moms who watch the show later aren't going to say anything, so you're all right. They won't be on the show.
That's so funny. My mom texts me constantly during the show. Like my mom during this playoff run has become like the biggest Joe Burrow fan. So I don't know what it is. Maybe because he looks like Macaulay Culkin and we just loved Home Alone when we were kids. Like, I don't really know what it is, but she's just constantly texting me. So we had The Miz, the WWE superstar, on today, and he's a diehard Browns fan, like super hardcore Cleveland. And he was saying how, everyone asked me because I'm from Ohio, am I rooting for the Bengals? He's like, hell no, I'm not rooting for the Bengals. Like, I'm a Browns fan. And my mom is like, no, what is he talking about? I love Joe Burrow. I'm like, Mom, like, calm down. Let's just relax.
You mentioned about Kyler Murray there a little while ago. Should we be paying much attention to this Instagram stuff? I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, this guy is in the last year of his rookie deal. He just wants his contract. He's just looking to, push the boat out just a little bit.
This has become my favorite story of Super Bowl week. This broke the other day. This broke, Sunday night? Someone tweeted it out, but I didn't notice it until Monday morning. I love these stories. I love them. You want to know why? Because they really probably mean absolutely nothing. Like, is Kyler Murray, of course, does he want to get paid? Does he want a new deal? Does he want Josh Allen money? Yes, we all do. You know what I mean? But for him to do this and not think that anyone was going to notice and not think that anyone was going to make a big deal about this, has he watched any sports talking head show in the last decade? Like, bro, this is what we do. We see something that's nothing and turn it into something. And especially it's Super Bowl week when the whole media world, the whole football world is watching this. You just can't do something like that and not think that anyone's going to notice. And to only leave 2 pictures, like, look, I get it. You're dating someone, right? You have a ton of pictures. You've been dating for like a year and a half and something goes wrong and you break up. And you're like, all right, well, man, shoot, like, I'm going to have to delete some of these pictures because we're not together anymore. She cheated on me. I just want to get them out of here. So you go through and you kind of like carefully pick out which ones to delete. Maybe it's a slow roll. You kind of like take your time and slowly delete a bunch of stuff. So not really everybody notices. You don't just unload your whole Instagram page at once. Like somebody coach Kyler Murray up. Like, honest, please.
Do you think he'll just archive them and then once he signs the deal, he'll just unarchive them?
Just put them back
straight back again.
That would be amazing. It would be like such an amateur move, but like I hope it's something stupid like that. But yeah, I was having fun with it yesterday. I was arguing with Cardinals fans. They were like, Cardinals fans were all in my mentions, like, oh, Patrick Peterson did this too. Chandler Jones doesn't follow the Cardinals. I'm like, bro, when Kyler Murray is the Bucs quarterback next year, come talk to me.
Are you saying Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury are having a bit of a Cliff Kingsbury might have cheated on Kyler, or
I don't know. Like maybe he didn't invite him over to the bond lair that Cliff is living at. These like come on. What are we doing?
I don't know. But it's funny because we over here, what we'd compare that to is we have a little thing like if someone is upset or something, they put out like say a vague Facebook status, or I guess you've got to call it a meta status, and then someone would write under, and it's always you okay, hun?
You
with a
okay,
question
hun?
mark.
Yeah.
And then they write underneath it, DM me.
Nothing but
It's clear
snakes.
looking for attention.
Just looking for attention, just fishing for something. And look, like I said, is this something? Probably not. I mean, come on. Is it just drama? Does he just want to get paid? Probably. But man, for this to happen during Super Bowl week, do this in April when nobody cares, when nobody's paying attention about the NFL in May. Then maybe scrub your Instagram. But man, could you imagine if Kyler Murray forces his way out? Now we got Kyler Murray, we got Aaron Rodgers, we got Russell Wilson. Tom Brady's talking about maybe I want to come back a week after retiring. The off-season quarterback carousel is going to be nuts.
Tom just realized his golf game wasn't as good as he thought it would be.
Yeah, right. I mean, God, awesome.
But I think that's all we need to do to solve this Kyler Murray issue. I think, Fionn, I think you're going to have to go onto his Instagram. And under one of the only pictures left, just text.
Yes.
Are you okay, hon?
Yeah, you okay, hon? Just do it. Just get in there and see if he responds.
If he gets a DM me, yeah. And then just go at him and say, yeah, do it in April when us content creators actually need stuff. We need stuff. We don't need it this week.
We don't need it. I got too much content this week.
Of course, the other news this week, and we spoke about it a little bit in the earlier part of the show, was the Brian Flores lawsuit, and the sort of crazy text exchange with Bill Belichick getting the wrong Brian sort of mixed up, which is absolutely insane. But an angle that maybe isn't talked about a lot, maybe rightfully so, because it's not exactly to do with the racial side of it, is the accusation that Dolphins owner Stephen Ross asked Flores to drop games to get themselves a better draft pick. And you look at it from the new betting side of things and how the NFL now is embracing the betting side and their new betting partners. If this was to become true, there's a lot at stake in that side of things. Again, it's a secondary issue because obviously the racial part is more important when it comes to it. But this is another big issue that the NFL could face because of it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Brian Flores has made some pretty heavy accusations. We all know there's the Rooney Rule is problematic. There's not enough head coaches of color or assistant coaches of color or front office members of color in the National Football League. I think we all can agree on that. One of the story that kind of hit me was what you mentioned. This is an NFL owner essentially attempting to fix games, really. And now that the NFL has fully embraced gambling, it's a gigantic issue. And if this is true, I don't see how Stephen Ross can be the owner of the Miami Dolphins anymore. It's really that plain and simple to me.
Yeah, and sort of looking at this now, the Dolphins, they've hired Mike McDaniel, and I want to ask about the sort of head coach vacancies we've seen this year, and it sort of ties in, of course, with this as well, because Lovie Smith obviously was the only sort of black person who was hired in this round of vacancies. Obviously, Mike McDaniel has the minority background as well. But have you looked at any of these vacancies that have been filled? Because all of them have been, obviously, apart from the Kevin O'Connell one, which can't be announced until after the Super Bowl. But is there anyone that you're looking at and you're thinking those two were a perfect match together, or is there any that you're thinking like, oh, this is going to end in disaster?
Well, I don't know. I'm really curious how Josh McDaniels is going to do in Las Vegas. That's the one that kind of has me the most curious, just because I know Josh so well as being a Patriots fan. We all know his first go around as a head coach ended kind of disastrously in Denver. And you just look, it's another situation where a guy's getting his second shot. And the most perfect example of someone getting their second shot is Bill Belichick. Nick Saban, his second shot at the well, his third shot, I guess, in the college ranks, turned Alabama into a powerhouse. But this second go around for head coaches, Pete Carroll, massive success, his second go around. It seems to go much better, like I said, the second time around. Guys have that experience under the belt. They know what mistakes not to make the second time around. Plus, Josh is going to a situation where I don't understand a lot of the Derek Carr slander. Like, I think he's a really good player. He's got a big live arm. And he's a leader. He's a guy, players like to play with and rally behind and play for. And I'm really curious how McDaniels is going to do in Oakland. Tough division, obviously, with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. Denver doesn't really know who their starting quarterback is at the moment. Is that a Aaron Rodgers landing spot? Would Brady come out of retirement to go to Denver? Fun things we'll talk about in the next few months. But yeah, I think I look at that situation I always want to say Oakland. I look at that situation in Las Vegas and I think, they were a playoff team. So that's the basement for Josh McDaniels. Like, you got to make the playoffs, and now you got to win playoff games. And given it's his second shot, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, well, it's going to be impossible to draft Tebow this year, so I think he's going to be okay in that sense. I think.
I think you're right. Tim Tebow not walking through that door.
No. Well, you never know. He could show up as a tight end. I don't know. Do the Raiders need a backup tight end to Darren Waller? Maybe. Possibly.
Maybe. I mean, he wasn't really able to finish the season. Also, can we just talk about how big of a disaster Jacksonville was? Like, I still can't get over all the stuff that happened there. But good luck to Doug Peterson. I mean, look, anytime you get to coach a guy like Trevor Lawrence, universal #1 pick last year, he was bad. He was bad last year, but he had a bad situation around him. He had bad coaches. He didn't have the great teammates, all due respect. Not a lot of weapons. It's tough when, your first-round running back, your former teammate gets hurt. Then you got your coach jerking around, James Robinson. So, I'm excited to see what Doug Peterson could do with Trevor Lawrence because I really like him as a player. I really want to see him succeed and do well, and I want to see him get to the playoffs and get that big national stage because, we know he can do it. We did in college, #1 pick for a reason. So I'm excited to see what Doug can do with Trevor Lawrence.
After the Jaguars kind of scandal, let's call it, our coaching, is it time to just stop hiring college coaches to the NFL and just work through like assistant coaches, like first time head coaches out of college just don't work?
Yeah, but Matt Rule's kind of struggling in Carolina too. He was sort of like on the hot seat, so to speak. I don't think it's time to just like not hire like college coaches. Obviously, there are some examples of guys working. Pete Carroll we mentioned first and foremost, but no, I don't think we should do that. But there is, look, we need to figure out some sort of coaching, pipeline, if you will. And look, we just need to hire more minority head coaches. I think it's just plain and simple. We need to give these guys a shot, and we need to give them some leash. Like it's too often like those are the guys who only get 1 or 2 years. And then why? Why is that? Like, let's get them, 3, 4, 5 seasons. Let them get their system. Let them get the players that they want, and let's see how they can do. Like, they deserve it just as much as any other white head coach or what have you. That's the biggest thing that we need to really focus on when it comes to head coaches.
Yeah, completely agree with Chris. I seen a tweet there the other day, and it was that coaches of color were more likely to be let go within 1 or 2 years of a bad stint, whereas the whiter coaches aren't seeing that, it's not good for the NFL.
Absolutely. It's not good at all for the NFL. It's not good for sports in general, Obviously happy that Lovie Smith is back in the NFL. He's proven himself over many, many years, took a team to a Super Bowl in Chicago. But why was David Culley fired in the first place? Like, one and done. Like, give David Culley a chance to get down there and run his system and be a head coach after paying his dues for so many years in the National Football League. He had that team playing well at the end of the season. Davis Mills has proven he can be a starter in the NFL. So, we got a long way to go. I'm not a person in charge, or else I would be doing my part as well. But all I can do is talk about it and see that hopefully someday change does come that is much needed.
Yeah, exactly. Let's look ahead to the game then on Sunday.
Let's do it.
And what matchup are you looking forward to most?
Oh my gosh. Can the Bengals offensive line block anyone? Not specifically Aaron Donald or Von Miller, because we know they're coming. Just block anybody. Like, can they block you? Can they block me? Jay, all you guys. Like, we could probably get a handful of sacks on Sunday, but are they going to be able to at least slow these guys down enough so that Joe Burrow can do something magical? Because we know he can. Also, look, it's hard not to get excited about Jalen Ramsey versus Jamar Chase. Like, that is going to be so exciting. And then on the other side, can the other guys defend Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins? Like, it's going to be wild, man. It's going to be wild. I'm so excited for this game. And I've been trying all week. It's only Tuesday. I've been trying all last week and this week to talk myself into taking the Bengals. I don't know if I'm there yet, but it's still early.
That's what I wanted to ask. The Rams are 4-point favorites. Do you think that's a fair line, or?
Is it 4 or is it 4.5 still? Has it gone down?
It was 4 last time I checked, which was an hour ago, maybe.
Okay. All right. So it was 4.5. I don't know. I think that's kind of fair. Look, the Rams are at home and sleep in their same beds. We can make jokes about it all you want, but that stuff does matter. Same locker room, same routine. Nothing really changes for the Rams, and that's important. Whereas Cincinnati, I think, got to LA on Tuesday. I don't know. The thing about Cincinnati is, like, I bet against them every single game in the playoffs, and I've lost every single time. So yep. I think I'm done doing that. Like, they get down by 10 points and it's nothing to them. They're like, Joe Burrow's like, cool, it's all right, we're coming back. Crazy way possible. They have the most explosive. I mean, I don't want to disrespect Cooper Kupp like that, but Jamar Chase, what this guy can do, he gets in the open field. I've never seen a wide receiver make so many guys. It's not making guys miss like Tyreek Hill, it's breaking tackles on his way to 70-yard touchdowns. Is 4.5 is probably a good line. I'm interested to see where the late money comes in over the weekend as we get closer to kickoff. It's funny, the total really hasn't changed. It's been 48.5, 49 the whole time, right?
It seems quite low, actually.
Seems quite low. It seems quite low.
49.5 right now.
Yeah, if you're telling, okay, it's gone up a little bit then. If you're telling me these teams can't score more than 7 touchdowns, I would be very surprised.
I don't know. I think I'm kind of a fan on the under on this game.
Really?
If it can get to 49.5, I will 100% bet the under.
See, Dara has done his research and he's found that the Rams are really, really bad at scoring in the second half. So if they don't get their share of those 7 touchdowns in the first half, he's thinking, okay, maybe that's where
I see. You know what the bet actually might be? It might be just to tease the under and the Bengals, right? Get 10.5 for Cincinnati, and then push that over to 55.5. I think that's a good bet.
That's not pretty bad bet at all. Not a bad bet at all.
Taking note.
I was going to ask, would you have any other sort of prop bets that you do sort of like to put on when it comes to the Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah, the Super Bowl's so fun. So I do a little prop bet league with some of my buddies here, and like we just started our draft. We do anthem time. We do color Gatorade. We do first penalty of the game, first penalty of the second half, first player to catch 2 passes, first touchdown of each half. We do kind of that kind of fun stuff. We like to bet on commercials, like will there be more drink commercials or automobile commercials? I think what you're going to see this year, you're going to see a lot of crypto commercials. I have a feeling we're going to see quite a few of those. I still can't get over how weird and dumb that Matt Damon one is. I just like, I just have no idea what he's looking at. And like, he gets the phrase wrong. Like, no one says fortune favors the brave. It's like fortune favors the bold. Like, so much confuses me about that. But yeah, we'll bet on all kinds of stuff. First play call, I think, of each half. It's just kind of, just dumb stuff like that. Just anything to get a little action and get a little juice going. What do you guys like? What's your guys'? You bet the coin toss?
I always bet the coin toss. I always bet the national anthem, but I can never trust it because I'm not going to time it myself, and I have to trust the bookies to to make the correct time, and I never got it right, so I don't even know if they're doing it right.
And I was looking at the anthem time this year. So it's Mickey Guyton, who's a country singer. She's singing it, and the total time is like 95.5 seconds, like a minute and a half. It's so low because in the past the anthem has gone over 2 minutes.
I remember a couple of years ago, I don't remember who was singing, but before I was doing my research on the bet, and I had checked their previous national anthem songs in other things to see if I was right, and every one of them was over, and I bet the over, and obviously it went under.
I was YouTubing Mickey Guyton anthem in commercial breaks today. Like that, that's how degenerate I am, just to get any edge. Heads or tails? I always go heads.
Tails never fail.
Except it did fail. It failed in the playoffs, like both times. The Bills went tails, never fails.
Well, that's why it's going to change on Sunday. But there's one. I don't know if there's anyone that's going to do it, but I wonder what odds you could get on seeing either during the halftime show, either a 2-pack or a Biggie Smalls hologram.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard of that one. I kind of think no. I would bet no on those.
Okay.
What about one that just popped in my head there? Given how close the playoffs have been, almost historically close, what about overtime? Can you bet on whether or not they're going to go to overtime?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can definitely bet over. Usually overtime is something like 10 or 12 to 1 or something.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Could be a nice one. Could be a nice one.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Overtime.
First
score is always good. Yeah, first score, either first for field goal or the last score. Yeah.
I usually just stick with like the standard ones I've been doing over the course of the season. Maybe a couple of anytime touchdown scorers and maybe an over under on passing yards for a quarterback. And I don't go too mad on it.
That one's nice. Like the 3 consecutive scores by a certain team. Those are always good. One of the player props I really love this year is under yards rushing for Cam Akers. He has gone under in all 3 playoff games, and I think that trend's going to continue.
Did he not have a shoulder injury? Like that, I think he was recently taken off the injury report, but that still could be niggling him a little bit.
Yeah. Another one I saw that's been hitting recently is Joe Mixon receiving yards. That one is that was a pretty good one as well.
Yeah, that's actually a good one. Well, tell us, Chris. We won't take up much more of your time. Who, if you have to choose now, because I know you said you've been building up to the Bengals. If you had to choose right now, who is winning Sunday?
I think the Rams win the game, but it's going to be close. I think, like you guys said, I think if you look at the playoff, historically close. Every single game in the last 2 rounds has been a field goal winning, aside from the Chiefs walk-off in overtime. So that's 5 out of 6 games have been decided by a field goal. I think it's a field goal game. I think it's kind of a last-second type deal. Matt Gay hits a game winner, and the Rams win at home, but the Bengals cover the spread. How about that?
That's good.
I like that.
Actually, one bet that just popped into my head: Evan McPherson has been.
The over field goals, right? 1.5.
Yeah, no, he hasn't actually missed one in the playoffs. He will miss one on Sunday.
You could probably get plus money. I bet you get plus money on him missing a field goal, right?
You probably would.
I think so. But listen, Chris, thanks so much for taking the time to speak. It was really, really appreciated, and we hope you enjoy the game on Sunday.
Yeah, Darfion and Jake, appreciate you guys having me on. Good luck. Did you guys make your picks yet? What do we got?
Not yet.
You gotta wait and watch the show.
All right, I'll wait. I'll wait till the very end. Hopefully, we match up, and I think we might. All right, guys, enjoy the game. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to be speaking to more guests and looking ahead to Sunday's show.